Welcome to Damn Straight News. I'm David Zublik. Well, since the construction of the Denver International Airport was finished back in 1995, the newest airport in the United States since the 1970s at that time, there have been innumerable conspiracy theories surrounding it. Many of these theories are somewhat supported loosely by various aspects of the airport, from the art that is there to the sheer number of unused buildings and airplane hangars. There are reportedly also as many as 6 underground levels below the ground floor of the DIA, and possibly even more that are not even known about. Beyond that, there are theories that tunnels exist from the Colorado Springs area to the the mountain complex known as NORAD in the Cheyenne Mountains outside of Colorado Springs. Recently, however, it has come to our attention that the real use of these tunnels is something far worse than could ever have been imagined by anything in your mind. These tunnels have been used for child sex trafficking. And what's worse, they are connected to Jeffrey Epstein. Not only do these tunnels go as far west as the Pacific coast, but as far east as the city of New York. And what we're about to tell you in this report is so horrific. I warn you in advance, you are not going to like what you have to hear. But before we get to that report, I want to talk to you about something else. Your health is extremely important. You want to take care of it. You want to do the absolute best you can to look and feel as healthy as possible. Now, perhaps many of you at the beginning of 2026 decided you were going to do something about your weight. Perhaps you thought you were going to lose a few pounds so that by springtime, which is here right now, you were going to look fantastic. Maybe it didn't happen. Maybe you were hoping that by Memorial Day, you were going to look really, really good and feel fantabulous. But it didn't happen. It's not too late, however. It's not too late at all. You can lose those pounds, and you don't have to go with one of those prescription medications. You know, the kind that people are using right now that were originally designed for diabetes, but are now being used as weight loss drugs. They all have side effects. It's a known fact that every drug that is used that is approved by the FDA must have a side effect. And these drugs like Wegovy and Ozempic do indeed have side effects, up to and including, in some cases, blindness. Now, we don't want you to panic. We don't want you to think that something horrible is going to happen to you if you take these drugs. However, if you could avoid a prescription, if you could avoid any possible side effects, if you could avoid giving yourself a shot, and if you could avoid muscle loss, would you be interested in this? Would you be interested if you knew you could lose up to 25 pounds in 12 weeks? You can. You really, really can. And without the side effects and without the muscle loss. And why is that important? Because if you're exercising, if you're trying to take care of your health in other ways, then you don't want to lose muscle when you're exercising. Muscle is very important. Let me show you a testimonial from a woman who has tried a fantastic all-natural product and lost weight and looks absolutely fantastic. Check out her testimony.
Hello, my name is Joy White. I am from Baudette, Minnesota. I started the Mind Body System back in October. And in November, I incorporated the gym, just 30 minutes a day, 4 to 5 days a week. And then, as we all know, this challenge came and I thought, I am going to do this. I jumped right on board. This is exactly what I needed for that extra push. And with that being said, with this extra push, I ended up losing 40 pounds and 27 inches. Now, if I can do this, any of you can do this. And back in April of 24, I got activated and I'm actually down 61 pounds and 45 inches overall. So I need a new wardrobe. My wedding ring is loose. I had to have a spring put in it for right now. I did increase my sleep also. So I was going to bed like almost an hour and a half earlier than I normally did. And I leave my home at 6:30 in the morning, don't get home till 6:30, 7 o'clock. So it was a long day for me. And then to start incorporating the gym in the morning too. So that is very exciting. I can't believe that I'm here today and received that email. It's just so real. So I'm very grateful for this opportunity. And it is totally a lifestyle change and I will be staying with it. And I feel just so great with being on this system and so much focus and the support and love from everybody else. I just truly appreciate it. And thank you, everyone.
61 pounds and 45 inches. Imagine if you lost 61 pounds and you lost 45 inches. Well, we can't promise that your story is going to end up like hers, but the vast majority of people that have tried this all-natural product are doing absolutely fantastic. And again, without a prescription, without having to give yourself a shot, without any side effects whatsoever, and without muscle loss. Tell you what I'm going to do. I'm going to put a little QR code in the lower left-hand corner of your screen. I want you to click that QR code to take you to this website where you're going to learn more about this fantastic product. In upcoming episodes of the Damn Straight Show, which is our daily Monday through Friday 1-hour show, which covers all the kind of news topics we're talking about here. In that show, we're going to be presenting testimonials from people who are doing fantastic off of this product. I want you to be there for that. But in the meantime, please click that QR code and learn how you can lose up to 25 pounds in 12 weeks and perhaps be 61 pounds lighter within a year. All right? Less than a year, actually. Check it out. Click that QR code. You can also go to our website, theawakenation.com, and there is a link right there. Check it out. All right. Now, let's get to this special report about the underground tunnels at Denver International Airport. These tunnels were recently raided by special forces, and what they found is going to absolutely blow your mind. Check it out.
Forces executed a full-scale military operation that seized control of the extensive underground tunnel system stretching from beneath Denver International Airport straight through to facilities under New York City, with direct rail and transport links feeding into the trafficking routes that serviced Epstein Island. Construction crews broke ground on the Denver section in the early 1990s under the public excuse of airport expansion. They poured foundations for what officials called a new baggage system, while simultaneously excavating multiple deep levels reserved for high-speed rail lines and secure holding chambers. These tunnels run for miles beyond the airport perimeter and connect to private spurs that allow discreet movement of cargo and personnel eastward. The New York end ties into abandoned subway maintenance shafts and basement levels of buildings controlled by figures tied to the same network that protected Epstein for years. The entire corridor functioned as a domestic artery that funneled victims, contraband, and blackmail packages straight to the island's docking facilities and its own subterranean passages leading to the sea. White Hat units, activated under restored constitutional command, hit entry points simultaneously in both cities. They moved in with overwhelming force, clearing armed contractor teams stationed at biometric checkpoints. The contractors answered to cutouts from previous intelligence bureaucracies that had shielded the operation since the tunnels went operational. Teams secured server rooms packed with encrypted drives containing passenger manifests, payment records, and video archives that document every transfer from Denver and New York loading docks to the island's underground receiving bays. The Denver complex alone features reinforced concrete chambers equipped with medical bays, restraint systems, and climate-controlled storage for biological samples. Rail cars recovered inside carried identification tags matching suppressed missing persons cases from Colorado and surrounding states. New York sections included staging areas hidden beneath commercial properties where victims waited for final transport. Evidence logs list regular shipments that departed these hubs and arrived at the island via coordinated sea and air assets between 2005 and 2019. The island itself maintained its own tunnel network, with trapdoors and utility corridors that allowed handlers to move people and materials without surface exposure. Inside the chambers, operators discovered holding cells with monitoring equipment designed for long-term containment and medical procedures. DNA swabs and medical files matched thousands of open missing children reports that federal agencies had quietly shelved. Hard drives hold ledgers showing wire transfers to accounts controlled by sitting and former elected officials who sat on committees overseeing Epstein-related probes. One cache alone contains terabytes of footage shot in private residences and government offices across the country. Trump restored operational authority to loyal military and intelligence assets who would map the full layout using classified ground-penetrating data and recovered schematics from sealed Epstein records. The raid bypassed every compromised layer in the civilian chain of command. Communication blocks prevented any warning from reaching handlers in Washington or overseas financial centers. Assault teams disabled automated defenses and DNA-locked doors calibrated to profiles of known participants. The operation exposed how federal grant money and no-bid contracts flowed to construction firms that dug the deeper levels, while the public heard only stories about baggage systems and airport delays. Intelligence embeds monitored whistleblowers and redirected searches away from airport perimeters and urban access points. White Hat engineering teams now hold every major junction. They map every branch line and prepare charges to collapse escape routes used by fleeing assets. Evidence convoys move under armed escort to military processing centers where analysts work in shifts to decrypt and catalog the material. The volume already processed names dozens of current office holders and corporate board members who maintain the network. This strike removes a core tool the globalist structure used to dictate policy inside U.S. borders. Without the tunnels and the island logistics they supported, the blackmail apparatus loses its primary domestic supply line. Politicians who once killed investigations now confront the reality that their own recorded actions sit in secure military custody. Additional operations target connected nodes along the corridor and related sites in other states. The collapse of this network triggers immediate instability among remaining protected figures who relied on the system for both profit and protection. Arrest warrants based on the recovered evidence move through cleared judicial channels. The American people gain back territory that the deep state carved out beneath their own soil. Children who would have disappeared into these tunnels now have a chance at rescue and justice. Borders become enforceable again when the officials guarding them no longer answer to hidden recordings. The America First agenda advances because the machinery that enforced the opposite agenda lies captured and cataloged. Trump's direct oversight ensured zero leaks and maximum execution speed. Loyal units performed the mission exactly as ordered, proving the chain of command that serves the Constitution still functions when activated. The underground empire built to control the Republic from below now stands occupied by forces sworn to dismantle it. Every level of the Denver and New York complexes belongs to White Hat control. The rail lines sit idle under guard. The holding chambers stand empty. The servers run only for forensic teams. The globalist trafficking and blackmail infrastructure that operated for decades beneath American cities ends here.
Absolutely amazing what they discovered. They're still cleaning up the mess, from what I understand, but at least now we know what is under Denver International Airport, and it's far worse than anything we could have possibly imagined. We will keep you posted, of course, on any further updates as they become available. Again, this report has been brought to you by the LifeVantage MB Core GLP-1 system. If you would like to lose up to 25 pounds in 12 weeks like this woman did, check this out.
Hi, my name is Kimberly Bayless. I live in Gillette, Wyoming. I started the Mind Body Challenge a little over 12 weeks ago, and during that time I lost 34 pounds, and it was life-changing for me. The challenge offered and afforded the accountability I needed to stay on track to create new habits, but the Mind Body system was very life-changing for me. It shielded and protected me from the food noise and the cravings that I have suffered with through all my years of trying to lose weight and dieting. And I'll continue on this journey with hope that I will be able to attain my fitness and weight loss goals.
Her testimony can be just like yours. You can lose up to 25 pounds in 12 weeks without shots, without side effects, without a prescription, and without muscle loss. Just click that QR code now appearing in the lower left-hand corner of your screen, or visit our website, theawakenation.com, to learn more. And that is going to do it for this edition of Damn Straight News. Please spread this information far and wide.